Hey everybody, welcome back to this week's Dark Avenger Comic Book Review. We are now in Uncanny Avengers issue 3. Feels like forever since I've actually read this book. And to be honest, I'm kind of, I don't know, this is like one of those first books where I'm just starting to really, I'm just not, I'm liking it, but at the same time it's kind of like, I don't know, I'm starting, a lot of people actually dropping it.
Again?
Sort of, yeah. Basically, Wolverine I'm going to give you guys an abbreviated version of this. Basically, you see this page right here? Yeah, that's the basic whole part of this thing. Red Skull, using Professor Xavier's brain, is converting all the people around him to attacking and killing mutants. Enter the Uncanny Avenger team, where Cap is still acting like he's in charge a bit, and Havoc's actually like, listen, you want me in charge? You said I was in charge, or if I'm not, if you want me to step down, you give the say so. And he's like, no, you're in charge. He's like, okay, fine. Cap, you go be Cap. Wolverine, you go be Wolverine, and we'll do the rest. We'll take care of the rest. Thor shows up and ends up being taken over by Red Skull. Red Skull's influence is starting to hurt Cap a bit. Actually, you believe he's almost going to convince Cap and change Cap, and Cap's going to be controlled by him, but he breaks free of that. Havoc tells Cap to stay, to keep snapped out of it. Let's just do this. Wolverine finds Scarlet Witch and Rogue, who apparently aren't in his control anymore. And I love how Rogue's like, we need the X-Men. Scarlet Witch is like, we need the Avengers. And he's like, lucky dames, you got them both. And then when Rogue tells Wolverine that that Red Skull fused his brain, he bonded himself with Xavier's brain, foaming at the mouth. I love how Rogue actually says he's reached foaming at the mouth. There's no way to even, there's no way to bring him back. So Wolverine's going after Red Skull. And as a matter of fact, that's exactly where it continues from. Except let's not forget, Thor is under Red Skull's control now. And yeah, things don't look good for Wolverine. To be continued. I won't give you guys the last page. But the next issue cover has Thor possessed by Red Skull over Havoc and Captain America. A lot of people want to drop this book, and I know I said I was probably going to drop it. I want to see this first story arc through, regardless. And I'm going to stick around a bit longer with this book, especially since I just dropped 2 books in a row. I feel bad if I say I'm dropping 3 books in a row, and I'm not sure I'm dropping Winter Soldier, but I want to see this first story arc through. Unlike a lot of people are saying, it's forget it. A lot of people, I will admit, when I started reading this book, I had to remind myself about what happened in the last issue. But I have faith in this book, and if I'm going to trust Rick Remender on Captain America, I believe, I could trust Rick Remender here, too. I believe, right? Rick Remender is doing Captain America.
Yeah, I think so.
I believe so. So I'm going to trust him with this book as well, and see it through till the end of this arc, at least, and see where it goes from there. So I'm sticking with Uncanny Avengers at least until this arc is done. Then we'll see where it goes.
This one.
It's date night for Wolverine and the X-Men, and those of you guys, I'm skipping over the preview because I've seen that preview everywhere for Wolverine and the X-Men, where it's T'Challa he's playing virtual chess with Storm, and he says, no matter what, promise me one thing, even though we're not married, not him. So Kitty Pryde and Bobby are out on a date.
Pretty sure it's not a double date.
It's a date, just the 2 of them. Iceman and Shadowcat.
Oh, okay.
Heidi is sitting over Brood's bed, praying that he gets better. We got Hank McCoy up in the at the Sword space station trying to figure out what to do. He's watching all these autopsies going on with Broods to try to see if he can find a way to save Brood. You got Cade Kilgore. I wish this little bastard child would die already. He's in the, I'm going to say Arctic with Sabretooth. And then we jump to Quentin Quire, who has a moment with Jean Grey. And I love how he's like, so you want to come back to my room and we can, she's like, no. And he's like, fair enough, I can wait. And she's like, you're awful confident for a pink-haired boy from the future. We then jump to Bobby and Kitty again, and things aren't going so well. But Kitty's like, let's go for a swim. He's like, sure, where are we going for a swim? And when she says a swim, she means phasing through everything like they're swimming. Then jump to the danger room, where I'm skipping a lot of dialogue on reason. You guys should be reading this book. Where it's Storm and Wolverine having their moment. And I love how Storm actually says, we used to do more than just fight in the danger room, Wolverine, you remember? And then it goes back to Bobby and Kitty are finally having a good time on their date. And then I'm giving you guys a little bit of a spoiler here. For those of you who saw Uncanny X-Force and were wondering, what do you call it? Storm has a mohawk. Yeah, basically, here's the big page. Everybody, the big kiss page. Yep, she gets her mohawk. Wolverine cuts her hair. Kitty and Bobby kiss. Storm and Wolverine kiss. Heidi kisses Brood on the cheek. She's happy he's awake, except, spoiler alert, won't show the page, but let's just say Brood isn't exactly himself.
I'm surprised they released this on Valentine's Day with the whole romance.
That would waste too much time. There's 2 issues before Valentine's Day.
Right, but for that,
shut up.
Just saying.
Shut up.
I was just
saying. Thank you.
There's love in the air.
Really good. Really good. Shut up.
There's love in the air.
I just felt like saying it again. Shut up.
It was just
listen to me. Shut up.
Love in the air.
Moby Dick. Yeah, this is a comic. Moby Dick. I'm getting laugh happy because it's
DeadPool.
DeadPool Illustrated. #1, Moby Dick. If they ever made a Moby Dick comic now, it's my fault.
Well, you gave him an idea.
Shut up.
Oh my God, that's like what, the 6th time already? Jeez.
Let me uneven it out for you. Shut up. So it starts off, actually, funny enough, on the 2nd page. You know how we always used to make that joke about show me the way to go home from Jaws?
Oh yeah.
That actually happens here, but those of you that have been checking out the previews already saw this page. So where did this all begin? Illustrated, from what I believe, is the follow-up to Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe, because in the intro page here it says Deadpool killed the Marvel Universe, the veil lifted from his eyes and he saw the world for what it was, fiction. He took it upon himself to set everyone, hero and villain alike, free from the burden of living the tale, but his job isn't done yet. So this is basically, now I kind of feel, after reading this book, it was worth reading Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe, because now we have a follow-up story where it didn't end exactly where it was before. You know, it didn't end that way. There was another part to it, and that's this. So for those of you that were really upset at the last issue of Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe, you may want to pick this up. So Deadpool has killed basically almost every reality of superheroes there is. There you go. They even have a big cluster of all the Spider-Men, Peter Parker, and even Miles Morales is in the picture. I'm not even joking. There's Miles.
Oh, wow.
So he's killed everybody in almost every possible reality. And now all he wants to do, excuse me, my shirt's stuck, is die. But the red voice in his head is saying, but they won't let you die. So basically, now he wants to find his creators, kill them, so this way they don't be able to write any more stories about him, and he'll be free from the I'm immortal kind of mindset.
Yeah.
So, turns out he has a bunch of supervillains working for him, round the clock, to figure out a way to free himself and maybe even them. Yeah, let's say them. So one of them gives him the idea that he's been through a bunch of times. He's like, you got to go through earlier works of fiction, classics, to find the connection, and then you'll be able to find the actual universe. So he goes to the library and starts reading up on a bunch of stuff. He doesn't like it, so instead he decides to go portal jumping or world jumping around to find the connection. He jumps through the portal. The supervillains have another idea in mind. They send other things through the portal. And we don't know what it is, but basically Deadpool left them a present. Kill bots. Bye, villains. So Deadpool is now jumping through time. He's in Spain and he kills everybody. And then we go back to the Moby Dick story where there's Moby Dick and Moby Dick's dead already. And then Deadpool does a bunch more killing. And then we end up in the last page in London, England with Sherlock Holmes, and he has one of the devices. And I love the last line of this book. It's a message, my dear Inspector. The game is afoot. To be continued.
Oh. Wow.
Ah! Finally! This is going to be very interesting. So for those of you that were very upset with the ending of Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe, here is its redemption. It's a follow-up story for it. And I like the first issue. I like Moby Dick. Next issue has Tom Huff.
Oh, Tom Sawyer.
Sawyer. Tom Sawyer. Shut up.
Well, I'm helping.
Shut up.
Oh my God! Seriously?
Tom Sawyer is the next. Shut up. The next one. I'm liking Deadpool Illustrated, not Moby Dick. Don't go looking up Moby Dick and expecting Deadpool. So, speaking of Deadpool, let's go into the Marvel Now Deadpool. Deadpool issue number 4, where apparently the cover is bent. Yes.
And the cardboard.
The cardboard out. That's just spectacular.
Yeah, we're okay, guys. We're just
5 in the. Shut up.
We're peachy. We're just
shut up.
Fine. 11.
I liked this book a lot this week. Out of the box thinking, you got Deadpool dressing up as Marilyn Monroe. You got Deadpool using that special sword, just cutting up a bunch of presidents. And I love right here where he talks to us, the readers, and he's like, so I have about 6 pages to kill 10 presidents and their henchmen. I say it's montage time. I suggest the reader crank 5 Minutes Alone by Pantera. Perfect song for me to kick some dead presidents' butts to. And do you know what I actually did? I had the computer on, so I went on YouTube and I typed in 5 Minutes Alone by Pantera, and I started listening to it from this page on, and you know, it actually fit.
Wow, it did?
Yep. You just see Deadpool montagely killing.
Oh, that's what I heard earlier. I was like, yeah, it's a good song.
Seriously, Mike's heavy rock. He's probably gonna look he's gonna look the song up now.
Oh yeah.
But you got tons of catchphrases like "Yippee ki mother" and then everything explodes. You got catchphrases like "Shazam," he says. I love this book. I really love this book, and you find out more about that Michael guy who's studying magic and stuff. It turns out he was working under Nick Fury. It was a special code name and stuff. The last part of this book, in my opinion, was the best. It's not wrestling, but it's kind of like wrestling. You have this guy called Adrian Van Lugren, and then you see Abe Lincoln show up, and he just punks him out, and then you got Deadpool who shows up, and then you get this awesome splash page by Tony Moore, where basically Deadpool's like, no guns, no katana swords, just a straight up brawl, and yeah, things don't look well for Deadpool. He even gets whacked over the head with a chair. It was awesome. And then he just gives up. He's like, you know what? I don't care. I think I'm going to cheat. Give me my sword. And then you have Adrian who tosses him the sword. He beheads everybody. And then you have President Taft who shows up and saves Abe Lincoln in his head. So apparently Abe Lincoln isn't gone yet. And then you have a president in space. Enough said, not going to say who it is or anything. You guys got to check it out. But this book just keeps getting better and better, crazier and crazier. Stolen catchphrase after stolen catchphrase. Awesomeness in a book. Love Deadpool. Love this book. There were several scenes in this book. From the music part, where he wants you to listen, where he makes mention of music to read the book in montage form, to the whole wrestling match at the end was spectacular. I liked it. It was awesome. I can't wait for the next issue. And hopefully it won't feel like it's been forever since I actually read this book again. And they'll get the next book out as soon as possible. Mike goes next.
Yes. Punisher Nightmare, issue 4 or 5. There's only one more issue left to go until the Punisher Nightmare comes to a close and concludes. And this comic book, it just gets a lot better, actually. It talks more about Johnny Nightmare, of how hates make him powerful, and only he can be happy. The artwork's fantastic, absolutely. And we find out that one of the Hitman soldiers' names that gave the orders to the boss was Kyle Sarnoff.
Yep.
And we get this page where we go back in time in Vietnam, where Frank Castle was... I like how they put the skull on the helmet, by the way, tell who's who. How he's like saying, you know, we're not monsters, and I don't feel that's what we should do. And it jumps to Johnny Nightmare, where he makes friends with Natedge, or Natty for short. And the Punisher's looking for the guns, of which Johnny Nightmare took away, and he tracks it down. And he gets with the police, and he doesn't get arrested because he is the Punisher. I mean, I knew they weren't going to arrest him right there and then. And he finds a clue, whereas the symbols or initials B and C, he goes under the sewer where Johnny Nightmare is, and we find out he wants to change people and to give them nightmares as well. And in the end here, we get Frank Castle saying, I'm a monster, it comes down to me. And it's concluded next week. I am so looking forward to seeing what's going to happen. This could happen in so many ways, I don't know how, but it's going to come down to Frank Castle and Johnny Nightmare, and I think that's an issue we're all going to be looking forward to reading, and it's next week, so we'll see what happens.
The conclusion to the first story arc, Avengers, issue number 3. This was a full-out brawl between the Avengers and the gods of Mars, let's say. So, the Avengers, the new team, show up to save the Avengers that have been captured. And as Cap shows up, and Iron Man, he actually comes up to Iron Man throughout the in the middle of the fight, and I love how Tony's like, I thought the plan was to call everyone. He's like, I did, and then you just have the guy teleport in everybody else, and then I believe this is Captain Universe. I'm not too sure, and they don't exactly have a roster up and running yet. Maybe they do here.
Yeah,
America, Wolverine, Captain Marvel, Spider-Man, Falcon, Shang-Chi, Sunspot, Catwoman, Best Magic. Captain Universe, yes. So, throughout the fight, Captain Universe actually... well, first Thor gets freed throughout this fight, and Thor takes them down pretty hard. And then Captain Universe shows up, and they listen to her, X-Hall and the others, except for the robot. The robot actually chooses to defy her, and she just makes pretty quick work of the robot. There is no more robot anymore. And in the end, basically, it's agreed that they will stay on Mars. Mars is all theirs to create and do what they will, provided, as Captain America says, they leave Earth alone, and Earth will leave them alone. It's a truce. And then I love how he asks Captain America, please tell me what makes Earth so special. He's like, it's an Avengers world. And it was the first, it was the spark that started the fire, a legend that grew in the telling. The great idea was expansion, and it started with 2 men. One was life, and one was death. The end. Next issue, Hyperion Supreme. But first, this story arc was awesome. I left a lot out because, guys, I'm going to be honest here. Let me show you. It's all fighting. There is dialogue in between, but all dialogue pertaining to the fight. And, yeah, it was an all-out fight. From the second the Avengers showed up to the end of the book. So, it's just an all-out fight, and it was awesome. And yeah, I kind of wanted to run through this book, but this was an awesome book, and I highly recommend. This is one of my favorite. I know the New Avengers is out, Secret Avengers didn't come out yet, but out of the 2 books so far, this is my favorite compared to New Avengers. New Avengers is awesome with the Infinity Gems and everything, but this definitely takes the cake. And by the way, the Spider-Man in this, I believe, is still Peter Parker at the time, because it's still the blue and red
I would
costume.
say so.
So, we now have 2 number 1s this week. First one being Young Avengers issue 1, which is more of a setup than anything else. Starts off with Nova. I want to say it right. It starts off with Kate Bishop and Novar. I was right. Novar, who is no longer allowed on Earth. For those of you that read the whole Phoenix saga, you know that Novar actually turned on the Avengers and his people at the same time. And as he says here, my people ordered me to stay away from Earth, and the Avengers felt similar, which was fair. I didn't exactly do myself proud. So, Kate's with him, and then Skrulls invade or break in, and then it's all about her and Novar versus the Skrulls. Don't know where that came from, but it's like, okay, whatever. We then jump somewhere else, where it's... I forget this character's name. I'm not familiar with most of these characters. I am warning you now. Yeah, they don't have a roster up yet. I have no idea. But it's him and his boyfriend. It's the people from the Avengers Crusade, Young Avengers Crusade. And he actually convinces his boyfriend to, yeah, there's a kiss, so what?
No, I'm not saying
relax.
I didn't expect it.
I'm just saying. So it's really all about getting them together, and then Loki jumps in. He doesn't like that the superhero that was told to... I can't believe I don't know these characters' names, and I'm the one that I actually should have been reading it. Well, the boy's name is Teddy, the one that's a shapeshifter. It reminds me a bit of Beast Boy, but once again, this is like comparing two different... But anyway, Billy, who's the one that has the psychic powers, he's called the... I don't know, Loki's calling him the Wiccan Child, but I have a feeling I'm going to remember these names, and I probably will after this video is done, and I'll forget to put the annotations in, so I'm sorry in advance. But we have Miss America who shows up, because Loki wants to stop him from using his powers. Yeah, things don't go so well for him, but it turns out that Billy pulls somebody through time, and it turns out it's Teddy's mom. Or is it?
Oh.
And I'm not going to spoil the ending.
Oh.
But the ending don't look too well for his, the people who are looking out for him.
That's just creepy.
And the mother thinks it's best that he shouldn't be living with his boyfriend, he shouldn't be doing the superheroing, he should be focusing on just school. And let's just say the mom is anything but normal. This was a good setup issue. I really apologize that I don't know some of these characters' names. I know they'll put a roster at the beginning at some point. I know who Novar is, and I know Kate Bishop, who's Hawkeye, and Miss America I know, but I honestly do not know these two characters'
We all can't
names.
remember names, you know. They all just...
Well, he was, I believe, in The Runaway. I'm not sure, but anyway, really good book, good setup, and I would definitely say to check it out. Uncanny X-Force, because I've got 4 minutes left. I was expecting to hate this book. The only thing I didn't like about it was the fact that, what's her name? Elizabeth is very different now. She curses a lot. And it actually starts off with Storm and Elizabeth. And Storm is asking Psylocke about her relationship with Phantom X, and she's like, I don't want to talk about it. And then it turns out that Psylocke went back to the school for a time, and Wolverine's like, you really don't belong here. This is the third time I've had to reassign you. I don't think you belong here, but I have other ideas. I can't do X-Force anymore because I'm a figurehead now. I can't be millions of miles away. I'm a respectable headmaster now, but he does have missions. He's like, she's like, so you're kicking me out. He's like, damn it, just get out of here and check your email, okay? And it turns out the email was from Puck. And it's about stuff going on, and Elizabeth is bringing back X-Force, and she wants Storm to join. And I love how this was the week where the whole Wolverine Storm thing happened, and Psylocke right away, is asking, you trust me, right? And she's like, yes, of course. And she's like, then you're going to tell me what's going on between you and Logan. She's like, my lips are sealed. I love the splash page. You have Puck, as charming as ever. I like Puck's character. I read a bit of him. I have a ton of old Alpha Flight books which I've yet to finish. And then you have Spiral, who's behind everything, and Psylocke apparently has a grudge with her, and she goes after Spiral. Puck and Storm try to stop her. It doesn't work, but they use Spiral as a way, because turns out there's a vault in this club where they're at. Yes, I'm leaving out lots of details on purpose, so you read the book still. Or you could go check out Dark Avenger Inc. for an in-depth comic review of this book. Brant already did it. They open up the vault, and it turns out it's not a thing that's in there, it's an actual person, but she has psychic powers. And yeah, things don't exactly look good for Psylocke at the end of this part. Then it turns out, and I don't know how, it just says here, Lucas Bishop betrayed his friends and was abandoned thousands of years in the future. It was not a forgiving place. He's not been the same since, and apparently Bishop is back.
He looks familiar.
Bishop, yeah. And then we get the final scene where it is Phantom X and Cluster. It turns out they finally divided up the personalities. Phantom X, Cluster, and Evil Triple X. So the evil one is Triple X, the not so evil one is Phantom X, and then the best of all of them is Cluster, the girl. Who would name a girl Cluster? I have no idea. But I'm not showing the last page, but let's just say there's more going on between Phantom X and Cluster than really needs to be. It's like, if you ask me, it kind of feels incest. But anyway, really good book. I enjoyed it.
Yep.
So I wanted to hate this book, and to be honest, I believe Psylocke is a bit out of character, but at the same time, once again, just like in Uncanny Avengers, I'm going to see the first story arc through before I make my judgment. And right now, I just dropped 2 books this week. So I would like to believe that I have enough money to check out at least the first story arc of both Uncanny X-Force and Uncanny Avengers. And with that, we're done. We have a minute left.
See you guys later.
So let's run through these books. I apologize for being brief with the number 1s this week. First of all, when it comes to Young Avengers, I'm not too familiar with the characters, and I've got to learn their superhero names still. Not just their real names, Teddy and Billy. And I probably will remember this one's super name after this video is over, because I believe he's Hulkster, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not too sure. But I'm sorry, I apologize about the names. As I said, as the book continues, I'll know more. So Uncanny X-Force number 1, as well as Young Avengers number 1. Both are definite checkouts. Enjoyed both the books. Avengers issue number 3 was awesome. Definitely check it out. Punisher Nightmare issue number 4.
Amazing issue. Can't wait for the conclusion next week.
DeadPool issue 4 is still awesome. Out of the box, but still great. DeadPool Illustrated issue number 1. It's the continuation of Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe. I would definitely say to give it a check out, especially if you were disappointed with the way Kills the Marvel Universe ended. Wolverine and the X-Men issue 24 was awesome. Uncanny Avengers issue 3, I leave up to you guys. I'm gonna read it through till the end of the story arc. Winter Soldier 14, end of Ed Brubaker. I leave it up to you guys. A+X number 4.
Kind of disappointed. Up to you guys. Want to pick it up or not?
Green Lantern New Guardian 16, Core 16, and Green Lantern 16. All 3 awesome books this week. Definitely check them out. And Nightwing issue 16 was also great. Guys, don't forget to check out comicrelated.com for all your comic-related news, reviews, and more. We have a Facebook page, facebook.com/Dark Avenger Inc. All of our news and stuff goes on there because we don't use Twitter or anything else. And that's it for this week, guys. I'll see you really soon on Inc. And see you back here next week for another Dark Avenger comic book review and Unboxing Friday. Take care, everybody. Have a great week. See you guys really soon in another video. Keep reading and keep collecting.
And keep watching, too.
Take care, everybody.
Later, guys.